So it's a little bit awkward though, because Augrael, you might remember that when those piles of undead flesh, animated and squeezed between the iron bars, for some reason
Oh, right.
it really freaked you out, and it just caught you completely on the wrong foot, and you just kind of went back to your skittishness from before when you met Lucca and this group, and you just kind of raced off down the corridor halls to a place where you felt safer. And now it's a little bit later. You're in a different section of the same level, and I would imagine that you've heard some more fighting sounds, and you realized like uh, I don't know what you thought. Maybe you thought, oh, maybe there'll be fresh corpses, or you feel like I can't leave them to themselves. But I would imagine that like the door opens here. Let me see if I can move your token over there. Well, the door stands open, and you slowly sneak up to it, and then peek inside, and you see the group um, uh, arrayed around a weapons rack in the southern corner. Here, let me make that visible. In the southeastern corner of the room, and they just kind of all have their weapons drawn, and they're focused on it. And there's nothing for you to see really. There's not even anything on that weapon rack, so it's kind of odd behavior. But that's what you pop into.
Once Augrael goes up, Someone will immediately pull Birke back, saying, "Ah, great timing, Augrael. What do you make of this?"
Yep, you're muted, Matt. We can't hear you.
Oh yeah, he'll come up confused what everyone else is looking at, but take a look and investigate it to the
Don't touch
best
it!
of his. He has his hand outstretched and jerks it back. Maybe Soma slaps it out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, give me a perception roll.
Where? There we go. Get my character sheet all checked.
Okay. Yeah, you like carefully, like slightly confused, withdraw your hand, and you just look at the weapons rack. Really hard because you know that they're kind of expecting something, but you just don't get it. It's a wooden rack. It's dusty. It's clearly hasn't been used in quite some time. Maybe the wood is a little swollen from the humidity, but there's nothing that seems special about it at all. And
Yeah,
then
and I
you,
think Augrael probably like looks at the rest of them and he's like, "There's something about it, but I just can't tell." 'Cause he
so yeah, it's
fresh
still
off ditching them.
nice, and still in your confusion, like you look around like from one of them to one to the next one, I would say, and then you kind of see in the other corner of the room over here, you see like purpley flesh that's mostly shapeless at this point. It looks like it has partially liquefied. So something happened over there. Um,
Ah, okay, okay.
and if you have occultism, you can give me a roll for that.
Yeah, you want a blind one on that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Cultism.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's not much of it left. Um, but maybe you notice that in some parts of that pile of purplish flesh, there are still pieces that kind of look like wood, but you can see that it's like weirdly glistening, so it is probably a completely different texture, but it's just made to look like wood. And you're kind of starting to piece together that there was probably some sort of creature you've heard of mimics that was posing as a wooden object. Yep, it looks like you're muted again. Nope.
Check.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and you're off out again.
Okay, I'm gonna change mics. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, change mics. Hopefully this works. Yeah, he probably looks at the mimic and knowing what they are and what their deal is, now understands they're freaking out about this weapon rack and puts his hands back. Let's just not bother anything. Maybe we'll be all right.
Is there anything on the rack?
On the southern one, no, there's nothing.
Okay, and the
Yeah, what are these?
Yeah, if you check those out, there are these two alcoves, and in each alcove, there is an open hatch and a ladder leading down.
Well, we probably don't want to go further down for now.
Okay. Loading.
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Should we take 10 minutes to rest up?
Yeah, I think we need to patch up Lucca.
Yeah, you guys get pretty banged up.
Yeah. All right. We can do that, and I would say, Sam, if you feel comfortable playing Birke again for today's session,
Sure.
and I can have Lucca tag along. I haven't asked Anthony if he would be okay for another player to play Lucca, so I'm just gonna, do his thing.
Unfortunately, I don't think I will have any strength playing another one today.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so yeah, so you huddle up, patch up Lucca. I guess that's Souma's job.
Mm-hmm.
Patch him up as fast as you can. Try. Nice, that's a success for 12. Very good. I'll apply that healing. There we go. He's still badly injured though.
I guess we'll have to just pat him on the back and say that everything is good.
Oh, I suppose it will. He doesn't seem very convinced, and as you will see in today's session, he will hold back quite a bit.
Not restoration, I meant soothing.
Nice, that's a good amount of healing. And that brings him all the way back up to barely injured. That's good enough. Okay.
Well, we have some doors to explore.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
All right. Where are you going at next? West or north?
Yeah,
West.
To the west.
Okay, let me just
Ooh.
real quick hold on before you keep moving. What was the following? Was it F? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Got it. Okay. So yeah, you open the door and you see this long hallway. And those of you who have heightened senses, even in the dark, you can see that it connects back to that circling walkway in the entrance hall where you fought that gibbering, many-mouthed pile of flesh and the weirdly shaped, horrific human slug hybrid thing. And now there's this other door that's right here. And let's take a look at that. Okay, so you open the door and behold a, pretty big room. The floor is, or the floor contains several open square pits that you can see as you step into the room. There are also, sorry, once again. So there are a couple of open pits. There's one in each alcove that you see to the north, smaller ones, and then there are two larger ones in the middle of the room. And there's also, if you kind of peek around the corner here, checking your corners, you see a dais at the room's west end that contains a stone throne of some kind with two rusty levers jutting from the floor right next to it. And as you kind of step into the room, leaning forward, you can roll perception for initiative.
Exactly.
Okay, there we are. All right, as Ottardo takes the lead and carefully stepping into the room, maybe bending over a little bit to peek around the corner, Birke, you from the back, maybe you hear something. There's movement. You hear maybe something that like could be claws on a stone tile. Maybe it's just your imagination, but you like immediately like you tense up. Um,
Let me double check. Birke's speed 25. Okay. Well, Birke is going to move into the room and she's going to ready an action to attack any hostile creature that would get in range.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on for a second. Okay. So what happens next is that from the eastern corner, a creature kind of jumps out of the darkness. It looks weird. It kind of looks like a rubbery ball of some kind. It has way too many eyes on top of that ball, and then sharp teeth with a long green tongue, and it's like oozing this acidic looking saliva. This is what it looks like.
Oof.
And you don't see any arms. You only see very strong legs, and you see those claws that probably caused the sound that set off Birke. And it comes bounding out of the shadows in that corner, and it kind of bashes into you. So let's see. What it does is it jumps forward, it leaps, and lands in your square, and it is allowed to shove you. So now it's going to try an athletics check. And shoving the creature. So let me see exactly. You push a creature, attempt an athletics check against your target's 42 DC. So could you tell me your 42 DC?
21.
21. Oh, it failed.
Oh,
Wow.
I
but
think maybe there's a crit. There's a crit effect.
you mean a fumble effect?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let me check. Critical failure. You lose your balance, fall, and land prone. Well, that's great because it just kind of jumps out of the darkness, tries to like get the best of you, but it falls prone, and it allows you to choose where in the in which adjacent square you want it to end up in as it goes prone.
The one just in front.
Just in front. All right. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you basically kind of like, as I said, you were looking around the corner of the left. It jumped you from the right, but then you like maybe you had your shield there and you use it to bash it away, and it just lands on its backside. Its two little legs like dangling in the air. You see it like snapping its jaws, and spitting this acidic looking spittle everywhere. And it's in range of Birke, so Birke can take.
You can make it prone because you made Ottardo prone.
Oh, yep, that is correct. That was not my intention. So yeah, but Birke can attack it. It's in range.
Yep. And she will swing her disarm.
Oh, and she strikes and hits and does 16 points of damage to it. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so she swings her disarm, slashing at it, and indeed its body does feel like rubber to her blade, and it does some damage, but they seem to be quite hardy. Okay, so that was just its first action. So then I guess as its second action, it's going to jump to its feet, which would give Birke an attack of opportunity, because jumping up from prone is probably a move.
But Birke does not have.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
she's
it
not.
doesn't have a reaction. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, so then it safely stands up from prone, and I guess it's gonna try to just bite Ottardo out of spite. Missing though, and I guess it should have been at a -4 because -5 anyway, because it did a shove, which has the attack trait. All right, so that was its turn, and then it is Ottardo's turn.
Okay, well, Ottardo is going to start by raising his shield again. That is done, and then he is going to attempt to enter Dread Martial Stance by yelling, "Squish it quick!" Which I think
Okay.
succeeds. Which means that I can now pull this, and that should give everybody some extra effect.
Nice.
And for his final action, he is going to try to indeed squish the creature, but miss.
Okay. Then we have Lucca in the back here. He sees the thing, but it's past all of its friends here. So I think he's gonna do cantrip would make sense here.
Probably would shoot it with fire.
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do. He'll produce flame, and he'll try to attack it from the back here. Oh, look at that!
Nice.
And rolls a critical success, does 13 points of damage from the back, and the creature like squeals in pain as it gets burned. It is critical success, so it takes double damage and 1d4 persistent fire.
3d4.
What?
Because the persistent is also heightened.
Oh, it increased the damage and the persistent. You are right.
Oh, wow.
3d4 persistent. Is it included here somewhere? Not really. Okay. Can I pull that on and then increase it? No. Okay. That is too bad. Persistent damage conditions. Pull that on here. Yes. Oh, nice. There's a little assistant that'll help me do this. And the DC is just 15, like with anything else, right? Or I guess so. All right. There we are. Okay, so it catches on fire as it lies there, or as no longer lies, now stands and just kind of squeals in pain. And Augrael, your turn.
All right, Augrael's going to try and recall knowledge. That for this thing, is it a cult or a religion or?
Give me occultism.
Okay. Oops, I meant to do that blind, but
It's weird. You don't know really what to make of it. It kind of looks like an animal of some kind. It also behaves very much like an animal, so you don't think it's very smart. But yeah, you have no idea what this is.
okay. I don't think Augrael particularly wants to get in the middle of those two pits. So instead of flanking, he'll probably just go to the side and try and swing at it. Standing in the middle of those two things doesn't seem like the greatest idea. Ugh, and he misses. Terrible roll. And those were his actions because he moved as well.
Okay. So let's see. What do we do? Yeah. From behind the throne, another one of those rubber balls emerges and it leaps halfway across the room thanks to its strong legs and once again tries to land in Ottardo's space. Let's roll the athletics. Ooh, 30.
That is just a success.
Just a success. Okay, so it manages to push you back 5 feet. I believe that it gets to choose what that means. Because I believe that somewhere it said it's just that you need to try to move it away from you, but I don't think that means in the direction that it came in or anything like that. I don't know. It doesn't really say. You push your target back 5 feet. So I feel like I can move you here. I don't think I would be able to move you here or here, but I feel like this is just as back as this square would be.
Okay.
And I think we'll handle it this way until we learn otherwise. All right, so it pushes you this way, and then that was its first turn, and it just kind of like stands there, turns towards you. That's opens its toothy maw, and its tongue like licks over its lips, and then it once again just kind of jumps forward, using its legs to try to pull out your legs from under you. So it's using a pinning chomp. Last action was the bouncing slam, and it successfully shoved you. So now it attempts to trip you, and then it gets to try to bite you. All right, so one thing at a time. Tripping means once again an athletics check here. 14. Is that a regular failure or is that crit?
No, regular failure.
Okay, so then it just fails to trip you with its second action, and it then it uses its third action, but both of those were attacks, so now it has a severe map, and it completely misses, frustratedly, just kind of like snapping at you, more out of spite than than an actual attack. Souma, your turn.
Well, first things first, let's turn on the combat music, so she will start playing the melody.
Just a quick question. The second one, did you include map on it, Simon?
I did not. You're right. So would that have made it a crit?
Yeah.
fail? Okay. Then it used its third action to stand up again.
Okay.
So, yeah, we start inspiring courage, and with the next 2 actions, I will cast projectile. So Soma will make a gesture with her foot like it's a wand, and piece of rubble try to reach her. What?
And it goes wide. Yep, they are quite nimble on their feet. So it probably just kind of, without even looking, it just kind of dodged it.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay. Birke.
Well, Birke sees the danger of being shoved off from some unknown height by these things, and she noticed something about levers. So she is going to take a swing at one of the creatures first, missing, and then she is going to stride 25 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And she hopes that this is the right thing to do, but she's going to pull one of the levers.
All right, so she pulls on one of the levers and she pulls it right off. It's just completely rusted, and she doesn't even use a lot of force on it. It just kind of like pops off like a completely brittle piece of rusty metal that it is. And then it is one of those toothy balls turn again, and what? Okay, so
Balls.
it's the one that is currently on fire. I think being on fire is a pretty bad thing. So it would probably want to end that. It can be that instead of taking persistent damage, you take it at the end. Rolling after you take persistent or the flat check to see if you succeed, condition ends. Okay, but wasn't there also something about taking an action to make that easier, that roll?
I think there is. Let me see if I can find it.
Assisted recovery. You can take steps to help yourself recover, allowing you to attempt an additional flat check before the end of your turn. This is usually an activity requiring 2 actions. Must be something. Okay, so I'm gonna say what it does is it just rolls on the floor over and over and over, and hoping that that's gonna help it and extinguish the flames sooner. So that's 2 actions for it, but it doesn't help. And then as its 3rd action, it is gonna have to stand up again because it requires. I mean, rolling on the floor requires being prone. So, but it doesn't want to lie there. So I guess that's it. Okay, and then it takes the damage and rolls the recovery check. So let's see first the damage, and then the recovery check. Oh, crit fails. Does that mean anything?
No.
Okay, just that it's bad. Okay, Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield. He's going to swing his hammer at the bouncy ball that just stood back up.
Mm-hmm. Strike it. 17 points of damage.
Nice.
You connect with that rubbery, spongy texture of its body, and it hurt it.
And for his last action, he is going to move away from the dangerous precipice. Well, actually, maybe he'll stop here. Yeah. And that's his turn.
Okay. Lucca. Well, I mean, from his point of view, this is pretty good. So he's just going to try again to produce some flame, targeting the other one, hitting it, and doing 14 points of damage to it. And that's his turn. Augrael.
All right, Augrael is going to try and hit this one. To begin.
That's a hit.
All right. Does the Dread Martial Sense give me? Okay, cool. +2. Okay. Yeah, I don't get sneak attack because I'm not. It's not 5-footed against me. And he'll try one more time, but he's gonna do it with a claw this time or no, he'll still go with the poor bastard.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
There's
There's Thomas.
all right, that is already doubled. Okay. I'll say this. So you strike it once, like, driving the rapier in, and then you pull it back out, and then swing right back around to stab it again. And actually, it is avoiding that stab by kind of like leaning backwards, and it's on fire. It's you're critically hitting it with your rapier, so it is kind of caught off guard essentially, and it like stumbles backwards, and you see it like with its one leg in the pit and the other leg still looking for support on the tiles, and it just goes and falls over into the pit, and for a little while you hear nothing. Um, don't remember the falling rate off the top of my head, but I think within the same round, eventually you hear like splash, feel the water splashing, echoing from down there. So it seems to have landed in the water.
Okay.
Third action, I think.
Yeah, he's going to shield for his third action. The cantrip shield. And that will be all of his actions. Oh, where's that?
Hey. And then it's the other thing, and it's right in front of you, Augrael, and it looks at you, and it jumps up with both legs and just kind of tries to jump into you.
Okay.
And it's going to try to shove. All right. So check your Fortitude DC against 18.
All right.
Oh, it actually figured it out. It's a failure by 1.
Oh, nice.
So, okay. So that's a failure, so you get to choose where it lands.
Let's put it in between me and this creepy pit.
Okay. It does seem to not like being next to that pit, so it's smart enough and use its second action to move away from it. And as its third action, it's going to try to bite with a -5 for the shove attempt. So that's
I'm
still
going to nimble dodge that.
nice. Okay, so that gives you the +1 at least that you need.
Yeah, I think it's a +2. Yep.
+2 even. Okay, yeah. So you nimbly dodge its attack. Excellent. That's so fun that they actually made that something that the player does in reaction to an attack. Because I've played with someone in Pathfinder 1E for years and years, and they just couldn't remember that dodge the feat just is a static bonus to you. Yeah. So every attack they would be like, "I dodge it. I have dodge." It's like, no, that doesn't.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a reaction. That's cool.
Yeah. Soma, your turn.
Yeah. Well,
Tynus, you're muted.
Right, sorry, I sneezed. I mean, let's just repeat the previous one. I first inspire courage, and well, I think that Ottardo will be picking that thing up pretty quickly. So
You miss.
oh, fine. Like, if it's not dead by the next round, I will just have to do it the old way.
Okay. Does that conclude your turn, though?
Yes.
Okay, Birke.
Birke is going to stride and then try to slash at the bouncy creature.
Missing.
And twice missing.
And yeah. All right. From down below. So you heard that first splash as the thing apparently hit water way down below. But it was just this one splash, like something dropping into the water. Now you're hearing like splash, splish, splash, splash. There's great like churning waters. Something is going on down there. But obviously nobody has line of sight, so you can't tell. But it's quite a big splash and ongoing. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
Okay. Ottardo is going to raise his shield, try to smack the creature. Then try again.
And you missed twice. And I guess then Lucca from the back row says, Ottardo, don't take your time with this miscreant. And then uses another. Where is this? Where is this spell book? There it is. Another produce flame. Oh, 17 is a miss. Oh, right, the diabolic edict. That
Yeah,
was.
I was sure you was going to do that.
Yeah.
No, I think he was just shit talking him. Where is the oh, that's not actually part of his spells, I guess? Is that more like a special ability? I don't see it here. Oh, it's all the way down here. And that's his focus spell. And it's just one action. Okay, so then that's what he does. So I guess at first he's trying to smack Tuckler, being like, oh, Tardo, and take this thing seriously, and shoots off his spell, but misses. And then he doesn't have the focus points. Well, he should have. She should have it back because you have the 10-minute break,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, how do I give him his breaks back? I don't know. I'll just have him rest. Nope, not for the night.
No, it's you can just click on the spell tab. You just have focus pool, and you can tick it.
Oh, it's just a checkbox. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he gives Ottardo the diabolic edict to cut it down, and then Augrael's turn.
All right. Augrael's not really interested in getting by the pit, hearing all those splashing sounds. So he's not going to flank. He's just going to try and swing at this thing. But 1 and 2 before he will put up the shield. There we go, a little something. And then he will, again, cantrip.
Okay. And then it's the thing's turn again. I mean it's got its routine, and that's really all it knows to do. So it's once again kind of tries to jump into Augrael. Feet first, it leaps at you. Let's see the shove, athletics. Oh, regular failure. And it's gonna try that again, which would be at a -5 at this point. So that's also a miss because that didn't include the -5.
Oh, okay.
And then it's just gonna close it out with an annoyed little snap of its jaws, but failing to do so. Maybe it flings like a little bit of its spittle, like just kind of flings around the air, and it burns some of your undead flesh. You probably notice it by seeing it. I don't know if, but you wouldn't have felt it. It was just so little, but you just become aware of the fact that its saliva is
Sizzles. Yeah.
sizzling and it's acidic. Soma, your turn.
Let's then once again her courage, and then with her other turn, other action, she will draw her new shiny new blade, and using her flute as a spell, she will cast shield on her.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. And then we go to Birke.
Uh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Augrael should have been able to choose where he wants the thing to land because it failed its shove attempt.
I think right there is okay. It's in between all his friends. I think he's fine with it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Birke, go ahead.
uh, can Birke like seek to try to figure out what the sound is?
Sure, she can go over there. Yeah.
Or she would need to move.
Yeah, she will have to be right next to the edge of the pit so that she can actually look
Ah.
down.
I was
That seems
thinking more,
safe.
I was thinking like just from the sound.
Oh, from the sound, it just sounds like roiling water, like something splishing and splashing about in the water. Definitely sounds like something bigger than just a bouncy ball with
Okay.
teeth.
Okay, so maybe some other creature that's snacking on whatever falls in.
Sure.
Hmm. Well, Birke does not want to get any closer to the edges, so she'll just try to. Oh, actually, she did not do this. She's going to designate this creature as its prey,
Mm-hmm.
as her prey. Sorry. Yeah.
So that
Uh,
gives her a occultism check if she has that.
she does.
But she has never heard of acid spitting bouncy balls.
Okay. Well, in that case, she's going to try to cut one open and see what it's made of.
Ooh, nice.
It's almost a cold shot here. Okay, so that's a lot of damage, which definitely hurts the thing. And she does indeed cut it open, and you see greenish blood just spilling onto the tiles. Even the blood seems to be highly acidic, though. There's a little bit of a sizzle as it hits the stone.
And you actually can make it frightened as an effect of the dread martial aura.
Ooh, okay. Frightened one.
Uh, and Birke is going to continue with the cutting.
Okay, hits 17. Continues to cut it, yeah. But that tenacious little thing is still on both of its feet.
And that is Birke's turn, yeah.
All right, here comes Ottardo.
Well, Ottardo seems to not have the right weapon for the task, but he's going to try to squish the creature anyway. What's happening? Oh, yeah, diabolical effect. Yeah, and let's see.
Nice. And your Warhammer connects easily and you smash down on it. But yeah, it has like its body has so much give. It really is like hitting a rubber ball.
Well, he's going to raise his shield and then attempt again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, edict refused. That's not correct.
Yeah, I misclicked that. Yeah.
Because that makes it a hit if you don't.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, and that is the final blow, and you just kind of like squish it onto the floor. It almost pops open, and the tongue lolls out. There's, again, everything around the thing like starts to sizzle, and there's this kind of sulfuric smell in the air. And yeah, and after a while, the acid seems to neutralize, and that sizzling stops. And
Yep. I think it's
so does. Yep.
sorry.
Sorry. Go.
Oh, it's okay. I was gonna say as quickly as that thing looks dead, like Augrael wants to rush to the edge to see if he can catch the last minute of whatever's being devoured down there. Or that's what he thinks is happening.
Okay.
Or he thinks it's something's happening.
All right.
All
And give me a perception check.
right. Yeah, so he'll run to the edge.
Yeah. So then, as soon as you realize the thing is not going to come back up, you run over there. You look down. You scan the bottom. You see that it's 55 feet down, and there is dark waters down there, and you see a cloud of greenish blood that is like hovering in the water, and there's still one last, seems like it's one last splish as whatever it is that was going on there. Maybe it was a creature that just kind of submerged again or something like that, but you fail to catch a glimpse of it.
Gotcha.
And you can tell by like the waves that are still there, it was something huge.
Okay. Something big's down there.
Well, hopefully we won't fall.
And maybe I can give you a little more than that. Hold on for a second. Yeah, so I mean, you can look down from up here into this pit, and there's this pool at the bottom. But you can also see that it's looks like a natural pool, and it's pretty large. You can see the shoreline, which is rocky, so it also seems natural. All in all, there this it seems like there's a natural cavern below with this pool.
Okay. Augrael might grab the corpse of this thing and drop it down to see if he can get anything back there to react again.
Oh, nice. Okay. Right, before we go too far into that, everyone can
Yeah.
get 110 XP.
There's how many?
120 XP. Okay. And then you grab the other one. Like it burns a little on your fingers as you touch it, and you pull it and then toss it into the waters, and then you look down to see what it is. It's pretty far down and it's pretty dark down there, so give me another perception check.
Okay.
Okay. So you toss it down there, and at first not much happens. Like it's just dead. It just falls in the water. And then once again you see movement below the surface, so you can kind of see like those telltale waves at the top that go through, not like white water rolling waves, but just these like little lines that show. And there's the back of something snake-like that briefly breaks the water surface, and it's big. It's very big. It could be like a giant eel of some kind. Maybe it is a sea serpent, a proper one. But it is, yeah, it's like the diameter of that is ridiculous. But since the body just kind of like
Went down. Yeah, I don't see.
that's all you can see. Definitely not enough to properly identify it, but it's some sort of serpentine beast. And yeah, and huge in size.
Yeah, let's not go down there anytime soon.
Well, I suppose if nothing else tries to attack us, big.
Okay. Yeah, so you look around, and I still have some of you searching as your exploration activities. So I'm just gonna say that you both can roll this check here. I believe that's both Augrael and Birke, is that right? Or let's check the party.
Birke search, yes.
Yeah, and of course, if everyone wants to search the room, anyone who wants to search it can roll it. But there we go. Okay, Augrael, I'm gonna give this to you since you rolled. Yep, you rolled the highest even. So you kind of spread out across the room. Everybody's making sure to not step too close to any of the pits, I would assume. And Augrael, you move over to check out the throne. And yeah, it looks like the other lever is just as badly rusty as the first one that Birke pulled out. But there's also a little compartment in the back that was easy to miss and just in passing. But you discover it, and you find that it has some interesting looking contents. There is a climbing bolt, a dragon turtle scale, and some gold.
Ooh. He will alert the party, and we can divvy it out accordingly. What does a dragon turtle scale do?
You get
I'll use really well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
you get swim speed equal to half your land speed for 1 minute when you activate it. It's a consumable, I would assume. Is it?
It does have the consumable trait.
Yeah, there it is.
Talisman.
Talisman. That's the word.
Hey, do we just want to put that in party loot?
I mean, none of us actually uses crossbow, right?
None.
I don't. Yeah.
I specifically bought the tool and I gave.
I'll pull the gold into the stash.
Yeah, we could just put all of it in there for right now. I forgot it was called the stash. I was looking for it.
All right. Okay. So other than that, if you peer down the smaller pits in those alcoves, you see that they also connect to the cavern below. You might also notice that there are metal hinges on the edges of those alcoves, but also of the big pits in the center of the room. They're all pretty rusty, and they look like whatever they were holding has broken off a long time ago.
It's like Chop the Hut. We all know that myth, right?
Definitely.
All right.
So, maybe someone will pull out some. Please have a bit more light here. There's nothing here. If there is, where the heck am I? Immediately try to check this suspicious wall.
I don't know how you managed to do that, but I swear there's nothing here. Just a wall hack, I guess. Oh, I see. It's because there's a wall in a half square, so it lets you enter that square.
They will overly.
Yeah. All right. No, that seems to be all that is in here.
Well, we have another room to explore, which seems to be
Yeah.
locked.
That's true. There is a room or there's a door, but it appears to be locked. Indeed.
Oh, interesting. Can I try and pick it?
Um, yeah. Give
By
me
all means,
If you,
please do.
or do you want me to?
I mean, all those doors that I tried to pick lately were either completely ganked with slime or rusted shut or otherwise really inaccessible. Maybe you will be much more lucky in that regard.
We'll try. Let's see. I just use a thievery with the.
Yeah, put a prompt in the chat. You can use that.
Oh, perfect. Sorry, I did not see that. There we go.
All right. That is quite nice. So you break out your thieves' tools, which are have you
The
had that?
magical ones. Yeah.
Oh, you have the magical ones even. Okay.
Well, yeah, I think they're magical.
All right. So you
Sorry,
break,
right? Yeah.
you break them out, you use them, and it does almost feel like somebody's guiding your hand. That's how well that works, and you get a success, but it's not like you basically get the first cylinder into place, but there's more. So you're gonna have to do another one.
All right.
Wait a
I
second.
think I'm getting it. I think I'm getting it. Oh no.
Oh, no, indeed. That was just a regular failure though, so you can.
Souma will look at this and start humming a melody to herself.
Nice. It's like study beats for studying. And I can try again. Is that right?
I mean, Carlos, do you know a regular success doesn't really break your streak, right? Or do you have to get all the successes in a row?
I don't think so.
I can remember right.
Right? Because it feels to me like a crit fail, I would say resets your string of successes because you break your tools. But yeah, let's go with that. So okay, so you
Okay.
have you scored one success so far and then didn't make any progress. Okay, but here we go. Thanks to Soma's inspiration, you managed to get a second success.
Okay, I didn't put that on me, but you. Okay, good. And try again then.
Mm-hmm. Well, but every success, well, it's one step back, two steps forward, right? So still at 2.
Okay.
And here we are, 3 successes. Still not open though. It's a really quite a
Oh.
tricky one.
Where is that? Here we go. The 8 action with my
Oh, okay.
new magical blade. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so let's see how that would work. So how would you ready to help Augrael? Like maybe hold one of the tools?
It's a reaction, and I inspire him with competence, which counts as an aid action.
Oh, I see. That's what you're saying. Gotcha. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. Should I add that effect? Do you have to roll for it or?
Well, I rolled 21 on my performance, so I believe that is
Oh,
that
perfect.
beats
Okay.
the default DC 20 for aid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
it's
I'll
a
try.
+1. And there's it actually, let me just because it's cool and you know that you're helping.
Very cool.
Exactly because of the +1 aid.
Amazing.
I love this mod that points out the modifiers that made the difference. All right, yeah. So the 4th cylinder clicks into place, and finally the lock is open. You open the door, and being excited about having solved this lock, you look down a very short
It's another
hall
hallway.
and see another door with a suspiciously similar looking lock.
Oh no.
Well, okay, take a break. I will try. I will try this one. Someone will nudge forward.
Yeah.
Light, please.
Yeah.
He gladly stands aside.
And that would be.
Can I give you my my tools without is that something you have to? You don't have to tune or anything, right?
Yeah, that's what I
Is
was
it?
going to ask.
Does it say if it is invested?
It doesn't say anything about invested here. I'll put it. Oops.
Yeah, let me check the book here if it mentions anything about it being an invested. Atari's Thieves Tools.
Yeah, traits. It doesn't have any really that I see, which is weird. But oh no, it is invested because it says 1 of 10 invested under equipment.
Okay.
I
So
think.
then
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works then. Can another person invest in a magic item after you've invested in it?
I don't remember, but I think it would be too long to reinvest things. But
Yeah, it probably would take.
someone will just
Yeah.
go with her own.
Yeah, it would still work as a regular good item, right? So yeah. But you have a good
Yeah.
set yourself, I think. So yeah, if only you had a key.
By the way,
We do have some
yeah.
keys.
Speaking of keys,
No, we don't. That's hilarious.
A copper key, where'd you get that?
I have no idea, and it's not annotated in the description.
Are you sure that it's not?
Well, I mean, at least I don't see it.
Okay, I think I remember there is a handout that for the GM that lists all the keys in all the places. Give me a second here, because I definitely
I think
do not.
I think we picked up this one of the keys in those flesh piles in the Kython room.
Well, I don't want to get it wrong, so I'll make sure that we're talking about the right one here. There's the toolbox.
Here.
Oh, okay. It's Birke. Birke has 2 other sets of keys.
Yeah, and I don't want to mix them up so that we end up being confused when we need another one. But man, where did they put that? I definitely have a list of keys.
I also have this defaced Iron key, but I think it's not the one.
Here it is, keys. All right.
How do you print them to the chat?
I just click on their icon in the inventory.
Okay.
Okay, I found it. The copper key. That's the one. That's the one that fits the lock.
So yeah, so someone says like, okay, I will take it over from you. Let me see. It's like click. There you go.
So does she intentionally make it seem as if she had picked the lock, or does she make it clear that she's using a key?
It's a good question, but I've already rolled one attempt, so unless I'm gonna try to bluff and stealth it, there is no way of avoiding this. So it's likely she will just like, no, not the. This is not the one. Let me see it. Oh wait. I think I have a better pick. Clop.
Yeah, and maybe
Augrael's outraged at first, but sees maybe the key.
But yeah, maybe she notices when with her first failed attempt, she doesn't really make any progress with the lock, but she notices like the copper fittings of the lock itself, and it's like, wait a second, we have a key that is of the same material and looks similar, so yeah, that's the one. All right, so you open that door and you find a little supply room. The shelves, however, are well stocked. There are jars of all kinds of things, and as you look closer, you realize, oh my God, these are all organs preserved in various liquids. And as you continue to check the various containers in here, you find crates filled with bones wrapped in rags, surgical tools.
Lucca, get in here soon, please. We found your stash.
Found your stash. The most usable stuff appear to be the two armor stands that flank a weapon rack to the south, but they bear only a pair of gnarled sticks in leather sheaths.
Oh man.
So here's the. Hold on a second. They've burnt me before. Yes, and they did it again. Oh, it's so annoying. They don't mystify things. I think chemical items should also be mystified, I believe. All right, so now I've mystified everything appropriately, and you can pick it up. So you see the two unusual objects. Those are the gnarled sticks that you find on the weapon rack.
Someone will try to pick at least one up.
You pick them up, and fortunately, nothing happens. I can maybe tell you a little bit about what they look like. Oh, you grab them. Yep. So yeah, so they're certainly not just sticks. Like you can tell that you feel magical energy pulse through them. Lucca will certainly sense the magic from them. They're covered in like runic carvings. Yeah, so definitely something useful. The liquids that you find among the various preserved organs and such are also listed here, but you have very little idea what they are. Like one of them kind of looks silvery, but is completely liquid, even though it is not. It's not hot. Then there's another one that has like a kind of dark greenish tint, and another and is pretty thick looking, almost pasty. And a third one looks kind of like milk. Yeah, that definitely seems wise.
Well, Lucca, maybe you can help us look at this strange stick?
Sure. If you tell me how that worked exactly again. I think
He probably has identify magic,
yeah.
or read aura instead.
He has detect magic. He has read aura, yeah. You focus on the target object, opening your mind to perceive when the casting is when you know whether that item is magical, and if it's in the school, object is illusory. Okay, so the school, so far so good, but how do you get the rest of it? Identify magic. Once you discover it is magic, you can spend 10 minutes to try to identify the particulars. If your attempt is interrupted, you must start over. DCs for, yeah, of course the GM sets the DC. Who else? Cursor is Alright, disease might even be impossible to identify. Heightening a spell doesn't increase the DC to identify it. For an item, okay, corresponding blah 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 blah. Must have the trained proficiency rank and a skill to use it to identify magic. Just give me the DCs, guys. I'm supposed
It's the DC by level of the item level.
Okay. I think I put that table somewhere here. Level-based DCs. There it is. What? That shortcut is not working anymore? It's level-based DCs. Here we go. Okay, and the spell. What are we talking about? Okay, so that's the. What did you just grab from that? That was Soma that grabbed the
Yes,
other
she
thing.
grabbed the by which hook?
Okay, I see it here though, and that's
what a big rod.
And we're going with the level of the item. And I would assume that a wand's item level is the level of the spell.
Adjusted, because like adjust the spell for the minimum caster who would be able to cast the spell, I think.
Okay. All right, I got it here. Okay, I think I know it now. So let's see. Lucca can then roll an appropriate skill. Finally. So that'll be this one. Yes. So as maybe Soma like hands over the wand that she picked, and Lucca first senses its aura, and then like flinches, and he like shies away from it, and you know pushes Soma away. Maybe even he says, "No, no, no, no! Get that devil stick off of me!" And but it's a
Heal.
wand of heal level 2. So
Ah,
That's great.
let
That devil
me
stick.
demystify that. Here we go. Oh, damn it. Okay, of course they have that automated. So if I just go and click on demystify, it now tells me post skill checks to chat, and then I can just use the appropriate one. That makes it a lot easier. Okay, so Arcana, let's go with nature in this case. I guess I can. Ooh. No, for some reason I used Augrael for this check. I don't know why.
Oh, I clicked occultism on one of them. Sorry.
Oh, oh, that's right. That's all right. Because you definitely know what to do with this. Maybe you had found one. Maybe you had found one in the past, and maybe you would you be able to use it? I don't know. Maybe you were hoping to use it because you've seen somebody else summon an animal using that wand, and you were looking for a little friend or for something to eat.
Very cool.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a wand of summon animal. And then with the alchemy stuff, that would be crafting. Does anyone know how to craft things?
Ottardo does, but does he? I think he would need the alchemical crafting feat. Let me double check that.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Pum, pum, pum. Yeah, the feat says you can use the craft of activity to create alchemical items, and if we do
And
items,
identify alchemy is an action. You can identify the nature of an alchemical item with 10 minutes of testing using alchemist's tools.
which Ottardo does not have.
Yeah, so okay, so then nobody can do that right now, but next time you're in town, you could ask your brewer friend
Megalo.
Megaloy could certainly take a look.
Well, into the stash they go.
I mean, who was coming in here? And like, this is a weird room, right?
Yeah, actually, I think we give that wand of heal back to Lucca, because I think we will establish that he's the only one who can actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is ironic.
I was worried you would say something to that effect, he says as he like wraps his hands in his cowl and takes the wand from you and then stashes it. Can I put that on his sheet?
Well, as a DM, you can just drag and drop it.
Okay, so where's yours? Soma, where are you? Oh, there in the back. And
I think the wand of summon animal probably would appeal to him since he's summoned a few creatures so far.
Once we get
Arcane.
into the back to the town, we'll have to buy him a bandolier for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is now then the 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 5th wand that he is carrying around, so he needs a golf bag of. All right, but yeah.
Or
That's
maybe he
definitely-
will evolve into a variant skeleton with wands for his ribs.
I would suspect that he also uses the opportunity to take a couple of choice picks from the wrapped bones
Yeah.
that he finds in here. But yeah, Augrael's question certainly is a good one. Like, what is going on here? Why is this room the way it is? Who would preserve organs in jars? And what the hell is in those alchemical?
Besides me.
Okay, but for now, just questions, no answers.
Indeed. Well, we had one more door
Mm-hmm.
in that little mimic room.
Okay, so you retrace your steps back into the room where you fought that mimic and were briefly afraid of an inanimate object. And now reach for the door that takes you to the north. And as Ottardo touches it, you know that you made a mistake because instead
Oh
of
no.
instead of being able to turn the handle, you feel your hand getting stuck to it.
Come
And
on.
and at the top, at the basically at eye level, the door suddenly grows fangs, and a big smile appears on it as it teaches you an object lesson, which is the name of the ability. So you've touched it, which means that it transforms into its proper shape or some sort of weird in between, and you're automatically stuck by the mimic's adhesive. So since you're automatically stuck by the adhesive, that means that you're grabbed in technical terms by it. The mimic then makes a pseudopod strike against any creature adjacent to the mimic. So that includes Augrael right now. And that will then be it. Okay, so let's start with Ottardo, and you get a pseudopod spell. Ooh, you get
Ooh.
Oof.
Ooh. Ooh.
I
all right. So I guess what happens is like, so you touch the handle, you realize you're stuck, you look down at your hand, and you're like, oh no. You look up, you see that big toothy grin appear on the door, and then it just opens up to bite your face for 32 points of damage. And then it also moves, kind of like extends around the corner with its mostly amorphous body. And it doesn't say anything about a map here, but let's see if that would make a difference. It wouldn't really, so that's okay then.
No.
That's 18 points of damage for Augrael, as it like just with some extension of its body, just kind of like swings around, flailing wildly, and it hits you for 18. All right, there it is. And you also see that the true door has long fallen into the little room beyond, and it had just stood there as mimicking a door this entire time, waiting anxiously for you to touch it. All right, that means we can go into our encounter here. Let me add everyone, and then I'm just going to roll for everyone to make things easy. And then Ottardo goes first.
Ottardo is not feeling well. He is going to start by laying hands on himself.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure I got the proper token. And then, given that he's grabbed and everything, he's going to try to squeeze his shield in between him and the creature.
Okay.
And finally, he will try to smash it. Oh, I didn't target, sorry. Well, that's a miss, I guess.
18. Yeah, so you awkwardly try to get both your shield and your hammer into position, but that fails. Okay, then it's Birke's turn.
Birke is going to designate this thing as its prey. We don't need to roll for recall knowledge on it. And then she is going to try to hack it to pieces.
Oh man,
Nice.
Birke is
Woo!
saying,
Oh,
oh what?
oh,
Oh my gosh.
brutal.
Even if it's stuck,
oh.
it will be worth it.
Yeah, so oh wow. Okay. Let's see. So the target is moved 5 feet in a direction of your choice. I would assume that that's back into the
Yeah.
room. This is forced movement. So what happens with the grabbed condition and forced movement? Of course, the first time this happens, we have the most complicated situation to apply it to. When an effect forces you to move, or if you start falling, the distance you move is defined by the effect that moved you, not by your speed, because you're not acting to doesn't trigger reaction that are triggered by movement. Forced movement would move you into space, blah, blah, blah. If you push or pull, you can usually be moved. Okay, GM makes the final call if there's doubt on where forced movement can move a creature. I mean, I think then that means like it just extends to Ottardo as well. I think, it gets forced 5 feet back, but it is stuck to you. So that would mean you also get forced 5
Ah,
feet back.
okay.
So, but it is Birke's decision if she wants to do that. I don't think she has.
I think she wouldn't do it because then she wouldn't be able to take a second attack.
That makes sense. Yep.
So she will try and critically miss her second attack.
Okay. And then it's Lucca's turn. And he will start the round with a snippy comment on that, and follow up with a produce flame, striking the thing for 16 points of damage. But not a crit. Success, you deal the fire damage. On a crit, you take the double and persistent. Okay, so it's just regular damage then. All right, then it's the mimic's turn. What the mimic's gonna do is eat. That's what it's here to do. So it's just gonna start trying to munch down on Ottardo. So let's see. We're missing with the first one, and then we managed to hit you for 16 points of damage. And finally, for third attempt is a crit miss. And Soma, your turn.
Yeah, I suppose someone will wear an orcish, something to the effect of I have had with this motherfucking mimics in this motherfucking vault, and she will cast a spell. In this case, I'm use just full free action for 3 magic missiles.
Shoot, 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 shoot.
Yep. 1, 2, and 3. So she once again waves her prepared flute, and it leaves a trace of shining sparks in the air. After which she makes a gesture, and they go like pew 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 right into the mimic.
Yeah, and they all strike it, and you see it's purple flesh wounds, and it starts growing other appendages that flail around in pain, but it still hangs on to Ottardo.
Probably should have used the actual wand of magic missile. Or did I give it to? I gave it to Lucca.
Yeah, and then it's Augrael's turn.
All right, Augrael is going to reach around the corner of the door frame to try and strike at this thing.
Mm-hmm. It
Oops,
does have.
I did that blind. Sorry.
That's okay, but it does have some cover, and it didn't go well, so
All right,
Oh.
all right.
probably a miss.
He will try again. He's not as cautious with this thing. Oh, brutal.
Wow. Yeah.
Two. I think for the third one, he's like, doors are not my specialty, and he'll just shield himself, knowing he
Okay.
probably won't be able to hit with this last one.
Okay. Ottardo.
Ottardo wants this thing dead quick.
Oh, he clearly does. And yeah, so as everybody is just kind of like awkwardly trying to get at it, since it's in that weird corner, Ottardo just maybe with a grunt of frustration, even just little lashes out with his warhammer, and it goes deep into the creature's body, and it just with a sickening thud, it connects to something, and then the whole thing just kind of like slumps down, still attached to you, Ottardo. You sense like all the strength of it is gone, so that it doesn't like constrict or anything, but it's just so sticky, and it's gonna take a minute or so for that to fully uh, dissolve, and then it eventually like slides off your armor. But it's done. All right, that's for 40 XP for each one of you. And I double checked your sheets. I think everyone should be at 602 now. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Not exactly sure where the 2 comes from, but yeah.
Probably a simple hazard.
Maybe, yeah. It'll just make sure we never have to look up if you level up at 1,000 or above 1,000. All right, yeah. So that thing finally it slides off Ottardo's armor, and it also like starts to, collect in this semi-liquefying purple pool of shapeless flesh. But there's also this little, little supply closet, little attached room that you hadn't got a chance to check out yet. But yeah, as you peek into that room, Augrael, you immediately see that it may have been like the supply room you just raided at some point, but now all that's left, or all that seems to be left, is shattered jars that fill most of the room.
Okay.
You do spot a couple of intact bottles, and one of them, yeah, I'm just gonna, because I just don't really think this makes a huge difference. Especially if they don't include the loot sheet. So one of them turns out to be a lesser sea touch elixir.
Oh.
And then there's another one which is just a corked glass bottle. And I'll say anyone who can make this roll can try to do it. So that definitely includes Lucca.
These are supposed to be blind, or yeah, okay.
Okay, Soma, as you explore this room, and Augrael kind of like picks up the bottles, like this seems to be still good, and like hands it to you, and he hands you a corked glass bottle that you pick up, and it's surprisingly light, and you quickly realize what you're dealing with here. It is a bottle of bottled air.
Oh, probably
Bottle
something that
date.
yes, someone will like squint at it, look at it, and well, she'll explain that.
Well,
Like that bottle there. I mean, it's strange. I mean, our raiders sometimes get a hold of a few of these things, but I mean, those are used to be like a survival tool if your Drakkar gets scuppled. I'm not sure although then her mind goes back to the previous levels when I think we had to swim all crevasses. So, like, although never mind. I think we'll find a use for this here too.
Yeah, but those items seem to be all that's left that's still usable.
In that case, someone will pocket the bottle there as well. Drop it in.
Okay. And don't forget the other elixir.
Oh yeah. I can grab that one.
Ottardo is going to mention how all this swimming and breathing
Yeah.
gear is making him quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot. And
And I mean, remember what you just saw when you peeked through that.
yeah. Augrael's like, maybe that big snake eel water serpent, that's probably something to do with it. And there's just this huge lake / natural cavern below us, it seems like. I mean, peeking down these shafts, do they seem to lead into water as well?
Yeah, let me double check that I'm not doing something that's not true, but
I think you might have already described. I just want to make sure.
yes, they do. But the difference is that these ones have ladders, like they're ladder or rungs um, built into the side of the shaft. But some of them are missing, so it's not an easy climb, but definitely easier than just climbing down the bare rock wall.
Yeah, okay.
But they do seem to lead all the way down to the water surface. If it's the same one as in the room next door, probably, given
Yeah,
how
you
it's
don't know. Maybe.
yeah, but you can't know for sure.
Well, we'll definitely have to keep that in mind.
Could we sit down and rest up for a while?
So I think because okay, like Augrael, it's your turn. Like turn your back here, and someone will reduce the needle from the from the healer's tools. Like, let me see that gash.
Yeah, Augrael like
Oops.
unceremoniously. Oh.
Never mind.
If we take 30 minutes, Ottardo should be back up to full. Just from lay on hands.
Sorry, I was looking something up. Were you talking to me?
It's
He was just saying
more
take 30
to,
minutes.
yeah.
Oh, you
I'm
want
fine with taking 30.
okay. All right. So you barricade yourselves in there for 30 minutes and heal up. Okay. Fast forward 30 minutes.
Fortunately,
You can't do me for another hour, right? Yeah.
yeah, three. Yeah. That's yet.
I got hit once. I think I'll be okay.
I can treat Birke for.
Maybe I'll stick a little bit back, but I think I'm okay. I don't want to wait too much longer in this creepy room.
Where should we go to next?
Well, we went west. Do we go south?
Plus the Birke's left.
Okay. So down the hallway, going south. And I assume then turning east, where we have that sitting room area that is covered in the white fungus that's blooming all over the cushioned furniture. All right, and you just kind of like rush through there. If
Yep.
I'm interpreting that correctly. Okay, and then open the door there as quickly as possible. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so and as you do so, you probably even missed the little glow, the little glim of light that came through the little gap at the bottom of the door, and you're quite surprised when you find the chamber beyond this door illuminated by the glow of a fire that's crackling pleasantly in the fireplace in the east wall, which is otherwise like choked with spider webs. There's a large divan that has been pushed up against the door to the northwest, and there are several pitons pounded into the gap between the stone door and its frame to ensure that it remains shut, most likely.
Hmm.
Okay, so and if I see that correctly, then everybody's kind of like rushing through that room
Oh yeah.
and into this little chamber with the fireplace.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
all the pitons are in the north, like the top door right there.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. There is another
One-
door. Yep.
The
There's
one we just blown through, right? No.
no. This one here. There's a door right
Oh.
here,
Yeah.
northwest, and that's the divan is pushed up against it, and the door itself has been wedged shut using pitons. Then there's another door right here, and another door to the south.
Uh, Birke is going to set her ear to that door and see if she can pick up anything.
All right. Give me a perception check. She hears something. She hears like a scribbling sound, like somebody taking notes on parchment. And not the whole time. Like every now and then it'll stop if she waits a few seconds, and then it picks back up.
Someone will close the door so we don't breathe the spores from.
Do you want to remove? Do we want to go in there?
Maybe we can try the other.
I think if someone went through the trouble of nailing that door shut, that there probably was a reason to do that.
Yeah, it just depends if it's someone trapped in there or the others were afraid of it out here. But I'll listen to you guys.
I mean, the general rule of thumb, if something there still moving, then it can move for a few days without our intervention.
All right. So since you didn't mention it, I assume that you just have that conversation in that room at a regular volume. So at some point, as you discuss this, a voice rings out from behind that door, and it sounds a little raspy, but it's muffled because of the door and kind of hard to hear any particular features. But you hear, "Who's there? Who goes out there? I can hear you speak the Taldane tongue, which I command myself as well. Who?"
Well, if anyone wants to take the initiative, because someone is going to say things to it, the door.
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, so she will raise her voice and say, like, I am Souma Iron-Tongue, the proud daughter of Souma Iron-Tongue, and, and you out there, tell me what year it is.
The year. I, let me check my notes. I believe I kept a list somewhere around here.
Never mind, I'll ask you an easier question. Do you still have blood in your veins? In your veins?
What did you say? Do you have blood
do
in
you-
your veins?
Yeah, do you still have blood in your veins?
I would suppose so. I'm afraid it does not move much these days.
Someone like look at the rest of the party with a face making like, okay, see, I told you.
But
Augrael like points at
but,
his own.
but who are you to ask these questions? I am the one asking the questions here. Um, so who are you?
I
What
just
are you
told you.
doing in the mistress's chambers?
Don't say looting.
Yeah, I need to think on this for a moment here. Yeah, because actually I think someone will actually tell the truth and she will not say looting because we're not looting this chamber technically just yet, but but she will say, wait, there is no way to tell you whose chambers this is. The entire complex has been abandoned, and we have carefully.
I demand an answer. If you are with that Jafaki fella, you should tell me now.
I think we can actually say with honest heart that we are not that guys. So someone will nod and sincerely say, I have no idea who you're talking about. We're I think we don't. I mean, the player. I think I have an idea who is he talking about, but for someone does not recall.
Yeah, I mean, this is how you would expect it to be spelt, and probably doesn't ring a bell. I don't think so.
No,
I mean,
No.
isn't it that form that works, right?
don't think we have his name or its name.
So it could be, yeah.
Augrael wouldn't have any special knowledge about this, right? This is not his level of.
Well, what's going on out there anyway? I've been occupied in here for some time now. I demand to know what is going on in the mistress's halls. I am the administrator, after all. I should know. I have a right to know. Tell me.
Well, I
So
don't
yeah,
think you
someone will
really.
ponder this, and she will say, yeah, the situation is stable. Everything is okay. Nothing moving. Nobody had invaded here for decades. It's okay.
Good. I guess that's an improvement. I think it's then time for me to leave here. If you could just, there seems to be something stuck under the door. If you could please, no, if you shall open my door.
And someone will switch to whispers. I think this is the time to go away.
Hello.
Yeah, we moved it. And Augrael starts walking towards the next door. We totally moved it. Good luck.
All right. So you roll a deception.
Wait, do we have? Ah, yeah, we did. We have. What the hell? I'm not trained in deception. What kind of bard am I? You know what? I'll hero point.
Okay.
That's
There
Oh.
you go. There you go.
Unusual. What is exactly your deception? Because I mean, Augrael was the one yelling out.
Wait. Wait. Right.
Yeah.
So never mind. I don't hear a point at the end. Augrael, it's your turn. Sorry.
Because you haven't really.
I was
I mean,
misled a bit.
I meant to do that public.
yeah, I'll reveal it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and then
I'm also gonna hear a point.
okay.
There we go. Thomas will come out.
There he is. Seen that fellow a lot today.
Yeah,
So
really.
so you just step away. He's like, we totally moved it, and you can see
And he
the
like
hand.
drags something else across the floor, like he's
Nice.
moving the bed.
Yeah, that makes it extra believable. And then you can see the handle of the door like rattle, like chick, 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 chick. And then you may hear a grunt from behind the door, and he says, I that's good. You're doing as told, but it seems still seems to be stuck. Can you see any other reason why this door doesn't open? Then rectify this immediately.
Augrael just looks towards Ottardo and like shrugs. I don't know.
Ottardo is going to just put his hand on the handle of this door and look at look back and like, shall we?
Augrael nods ferociously, like, yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay. So
Souma?
as you
Yeah, someone knows.
so as you start ignoring him, you hear like behind you as you walk away. You're like, "Hello, hello." Damn it, not again. Okay, and you move towards the next room, which is one of the biggest ones you've seen yet. You enter into this hall, and you see overturned tables and benches everywhere. They're all made of petrified wood, but they're just scattered around the edges of this chamber. There are pale bones interspersed with these furnishings here and there in all the various places. And along the walls, there are several monster heads, but preserved, like taxidermied, and silver plaques adorning the wall. There is, if you step a little further, a glowing circle of runes etched on the floor of an alcove to the east. And as you should be able to see, the room stretches on for quite some time, further than your light sources let you see,
Oh,
and then keeps going into some kind of hallway. And there's
Wow.
and hold on here for a second. There's multiple doors leading out of this, and you still hear the shouts, even though they're muffled by the stone door of the alleged administrator from his prison over there. All right, and now give me a second here. And yeah, so and you enter the room and you kind of look around and maybe you're starting to like inspect uh the monsters on the walls or try to like brush off the dust from some of the plaques. Lucca is certainly interested in those glowing runes over there in the corner and starting to move towards it. And then you hear like I said, you still hear those muffled screams in the back, but then there's this like a whooshing sound, and then you see like some of the petrified wood kind of getting disturbed, and a piece of bone just comes flying out, and then from other places, and more pieces of bone start kind of like collecting in a spot, or I should say, an area in the southern part of the room, and they like slide across the floor. They fly through the air. They dislodge themselves from piles of wood, and very quickly they like gather in this sort of whirlwind almost of bone fragments, and they all kind of slide and lock into place. And you see this creature like assembling essentially in front of your eyes, like chunk, 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 bit by bit, and it just keeps building and keeps growing, getting taller and taller until it is fully assembled in front of you. and you've been kind of just
Okay.
you're just kind of like you've been awestruck by watching this happen, and then it's just towering over you. It is hunched over with its how high is the ceiling? Not high enough for sure. So yeah, that happened.
What a cool token. That's so cool.
Yeah, and it has fully taken shape, and it's I can give you its full picture just because it's just pretty cool art. Because it's not really the skeleton of a creature, as you can see. It really is this sort of amalgamation of various bits and pieces of bone, and it has fully formed, which means we can go into initiative here. And I'll once again just roll for all of us. I'll say that it'll act at the end of this round, because I would say that, there's no magical effect compelling you here to watch this happen. So I'll say that we're basically starting this round, you are all realizing what is taking shape here, and you all get to act a full turn before it fully manifests. All right.
Okay.
Let's go. Soma.
I think first thing would be. Oh wow. Oh, this is actually a good time to do the thing that I was going to do previously. Tomo will reduce a hunter's brooch from use her that full actions effect to touch Ottardo's weapon. Make it super deadly fatal D12 against undead. If I can do that.
Yeah. Activate as 3 actions. Command and interact. Touching a weapon you wield to the symbol and uttering a plea for Aristil's. I'll say it takes an additional action to apply it to somebody else's weapon.
Okay. I mean, I don't have 4 actions, so. Never mind. I mean, she will hold.
Like maybe on next turn.
Sorry. Actually, it very literally says the effect ends when you're not wielding the weapon. So I think it's intended to be on for yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will have to come next. In. And it will. Fire the. Shield.
Okay. Lucca. I think first of all, Lucca is gonna back away from this because he'll probably know that a creature of that size might have increased reach, so he's gonna go all the way back here. And that was one action. And I think he'll. Let's have a flaming sphere appear. Heightened one, apparently. And since he can already tell where that thing is going to appear, he'll put it right in the center of it. And let me read the spell description. The sphere must be supported. It is. The sphere deals 3d6 to each creature in the square where it first appears. So even before it is fully formed. I'll give it a reflex save, but I'll say it gets a penalty here, which makes this a failure, which means that he gets the regular damage for the heightened sphere. So yeah, he gets singed pretty badly. Ottardo, your turn.
Ottardo will raise his shield.
And by the
then
way,
he-
Ottardo, you're no longer stupefied at this point.
Okay. And then he'll attempt to enter Dread Martial Stance. It's just a skeleton. We've fought them before. But no, he's not convinced. And for his last action, what could he do here? I guess he'll just step up to it. And that's it.
Okay, Birke.
Birke wants to know what is this thing. So
Yeah.
she's going to make it her prey.
All right, that's a religion check, please.
Yeah.
Nice roll, but still not enough. I mean, I'll give you that she's sure that this is an undead creature of some kind, not a construct or something like that. And definitely some weird kind of skeleton variety, but he has no there's no idea what it is exactly.
Okay, well, apply Gizarm to undead.
Oh, use Gizarm with undead. Okay. 18, that's a miss, even in
That's a
its not
miss.
yet fully formed state.
And then she misses again.
And she misses again, exactly. Okay, Augrael.
All right, Augrael wants to know what this is as well, so he's gonna try. You said religion.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or if you have a lore that might be applicable, but I don't think there's...
Yeah, I don't think anything.
No. Yeah. Is this even a skeleton?
Okay.
I mean, look, it has way too many.
All right. Oh man. 5. He's gonna try and surround it. He thinks that might be a good idea. 10. 29, 30. That's his movement. All right. Yes. And then he's gonna try and hit it. Let's see. Oops.
And
That's not blind. Sorry, forgot to switch it.
that's a miss.
All right.
And then the creature fully forms. I would imagine
boy.
it's just like it was kind of just standing there, just getting put together by chunk, 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 all these various bones flying into position, and now it just leans forward, puts its weight on its bones. You see like dust settle as all of the old bones crack into place. Some of them are a little loose and wiggly, but it's nonetheless terrifying. And it just looks around, like slowly moving, like in kind of like an ant, I would imagine. Just this like really slow movement. And then it sees Augrael behind him and Ottardo, and it just kind of like smashes one with its right arm and the other one with its left arm. So it makes 2 strike attacks. And hold on. No, that's actually not how that ability works. I just realized. So it'll make 2 strikes, but they are separate strikes. Okay, so first it comes with a claw here, strikes Ottardo for 16 points of damage. And then it follows up with a claw strike against Augrael, which
Nibble dodge should not still be on.
okay,
But
so
I
then
can use it again, right?
which makes the difference then.
Sorry about that. I should have taken it off.
No, that's perfectly fine because that definitely makes the difference here. So you nimbly dodge. It's powerful but kind of slow attack. And then finally, since Birke is also within reach, it tries to strike her, but misses. All right, Soma.
Okay, let's continue with parry defense. I will try to make a very risky play. I will try to slow it.
Interesting.
Nice.
I mean, I took
All
this
right.
spell, so well,
Well, it succeeds at its save. So what do we have here? We have manipulate, occult,
Oh, but it's just success. Okay.
but you dilate the flow of mind, so this is not mind affecting, so that's why it would still work. So it is just slowed 1. Okay, but that's still big deal.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
huge.
well, at least for 1 round. Okay, so that's it.
Oh, right, successes for 1 round. Oh, I was reading failure. Okay, Lucca. Oh, Lucca's me. um, okay, so
He'd probably start by moving his ball.
exactly, I'm gonna move the flaming sphere around just a little bit, just to force another reflex save. Do we still have that spell up there? Yep. And it fails once again, showing its poor reflexes, and then we roll for damage. Burning
Nice.
it to 24, so that's nice. And that was the sustain action, correct? So he should have 2 left. Which he's going to use to... I'm sure Anthony would do something cooler, but I'm gonna say produce flame, just because it's something that I know how to use. So he casts it, and then he whoosh, misses with the attack. Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield and then swing his warhammer at the creature.
Oh, and thanks to the flanking, you hit
Yep.
Nice.
Great.
and do 13 points of bludgeoning damage. You crash and crack its bones.
And as he does that, he's going to say, "See, it's just a bag of bones." And
I believe.
yep, and that gets everyone in range. Red Marshal stands, and that is his turn.
Right.
Nicely done. Okay. Birke.
Birke. Birke is going to take 1 step to flank alongside Augrael, and then she is going to strike the creature with her disarm. And then
misses.
missed
Oh,
once.
and then
Oh.
okay. And it's Augrael's turn.
All right. Augrael's gonna, knowing what his own bag of bones has been subject to, he's gonna try and inflict it back onto this one. We'll see if he can get something here. Nice, because of the flanks.
Oh yeah. Yep. On the nose because of flanked. Nice. Oof. Yeah,
And
so it's weird with your rapier, where there's so many
yeah,
gaps in those bones, so you don't do full damage, but still.
makes sense. Makes sense. He'll try one more before he will do his trusty shield. I don't think moving makes sense for. Yeah, I don't think he's going to move, so he will try one more swing. Okay, then he will shield cantrip.
Okay. Now it's the creature's turn, and it only gets 2 actions because of slowed, and then it only needs those 2 actions because it's going to make a broad swipe. It's going to attack Ottardo
Ooh.
first, and then Birke, but it's not going to increase its map. All right, so the first one's a hit
Ooh.
for 18 points of damage, and then just in one like powerful broad swipe, it slams its claw into, or tries to slam it into both of you, but Birke manages to avoid it. And then that's its turn because it is slowed. Soma.
Nice.
Okay. Let's continue. In defense,
Okay.
but for my second action, Soma will present the symbol of Erastil and cast Disrupt Undead on that.
All right. We'll roll a fortitude save. It succeeded. So it still takes half damage. Ooh, what was that? Wow. Ooh, that was
the
cool.
I
damage.
like that.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so it took some damage of this. And then it's Lucca's turn, and Lucca will sustain the spell, so move the sphere around just enough for the pile of bones to roll its reflex save. Alrighty, where is it? Produce flame, slow. There really should be a macro to bring up these persistent things again when the time comes. Oh, crit fail! Ooh, that's not good. Flaming sphere roll damage. And he takes
Nice.
double that.
Nice.
So he like goes up in flames essentially as Lucca rolls that sphere around, and I'll say that he uses that as he casts yet another produce flame. Yes, and
Ooh, nice.
he exploits that and makes or adds another 15 points of fire damage, which went to the sphere. It shouldn't go to the sphere. It should go to the creature. Yes, and those 15 points are enough to just immolate the bone, the pile of bones, and thus I bested myself, I guess. Um, All right, yeah. So the pile of bones just goes up in flames, and it just starts swaying back and forth, and a lot of these loose bone pieces that make up its body like start crumbling off, and black chunks of coal, and it just it continues to like try to move between you, maybe just run away or something. But as it puts its foot down, puts its weight on it, those bones start to break and crackle, and it lands on its knee, and then it tries to push itself up, but its arm breaks under that weight again, and it falls flat on its face, and then it just lies there still.
And then Ottardo with a swollen lip and a bruised face turns around and says, I told you it's just a bag of bones.
All right. Um, cool. That's 80 XP for each one.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. So do you need the description again of the room, or are you good?
No, I think we got
Uh,
it. It was
yeah.
the shattered wood on the sides and then the bones in the middle.
Yeah.
And what I assume is the same elevator system.
This one looks different.
Ah,
And it looks different, and I guess Luca will kind of like whisper or say it under his non-existent breath behind you. He'll say like, "Slow, Ottardo. This one is crackling with magic." Because it's pretty clearly active. For like the runes in there
Ooh.
they're shimmering, they're glowing, and whatever effect is on that area is certainly currently active.
Souma will take her bag of marbles and toss one of them into the ring.
Hold on. You toss the marble into it, and it just kind of like tung 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 tung, clinks around, and then stops moving at some point.
Mm-hmm. Augrael, seeing that, will take like a couple of the bones from this bone gladiator and throw it on there, just see if it needs a little extra.
Souma will retrieve her marbles back. You can never have too many of them, so it's better not to lose them.
You retrieve the marble?
Yes.
Okay. So you step into that
No.
area?
I use mage
Okay.
hand.
That's why I'm asking. I mean, you're welcome to retrieve it. I just want to be clear about things.
Sorry, I mean, I clicked the cantrip.
All right. And Augrael picked up a couple of pieces of bones and debris and
Toss
tosses
them on there, yeah.
Yeah. And they just kind of plunk, land there. Nothing seems to happen. There's not even a crackle of magic on them or anything like that. They just plunk.
Maybe it's broken.
So while they're investigating, Birke is going to search the room, and Ottardo is going to take 10 minutes to recharge a bit.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So as they are like, curious about that thing in the corner, you search the room, but there doesn't seem to be anything usable left. It seems like this place has been thoroughly smashed to bits and pieces. However, I mean, there are some potentially interesting things around on the walls. For example, those monster heads. It looks like they are like trophies of some kind that are proudly displayed here. There's a basilisk, a chimera, total of 3 manticores that you see. There are plaques on the walls, and they are labeled. It looks like names of people, and then there's usually a year right next to it. When you check all of them, you'll see that all of these years are within a 10-year time span between 4,235 to 4,244 Absalom reckoning. So I think that's 500 years ago. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. So it's around 500 years ago, and all those plaques are within a 10-year period. And it's not just a year on them. There's a date as well. So they seem to commemorate something that person maybe did that year, that day. Some of the furniture is still usable because it was very sturdy to begin with, and it's just been kind of upended. Yeah, so that's what you find. And then again, a couple of doors leading out of this place and that hallway that stretches on towards the south. And you can tell that there's a staircase coming up, a set of stairs that leads down.
Okay, down. Okay. Well, shall we start with the doors?
That seems right.
Oh man, this place is huge.
Yeah, it is.
Sure is. Yeah, you find another corridor here that snakes around this part of the level, and there's plenty of doors branching off of it. First one you open reveals a pretty small chamber. There's not much in here. There's the broken bed, a broken down looking footlocker. There's a metal rusty chamber pot with a very nasty patina of some kind. Hold on. Hold on here. Wait a second. Yeah. Since you search around, I would say that you notice that. So that before you opened the door, you found this bolt on the outside here, that you didn't need to unlatch, but you could latch it so that the door wouldn't be opened. And then when you check it from the inside, you notice that there's a discoloration on the inside of the door, as if it once held the bolt on the inside, but then it must have been relocated to the outside
Mm.
of the door at some point in the past.
Hmm.
Kind of weird.
That is odd.
Mhm.
Can Birke look into the footlocker?
Yep, she can look in there. There's nothing in there but cobwebs and dust and grime.
Okay, well, she's just going to give the room a quick look, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, no, nothing seems to be usable or of interest around here. Okay, and you open that door, and boy, that looks weird. There's there's a huge amount of like black sludge that fills the entire room. Um, and it fills it to a degree that you can't even tell what is under it. It's just covering everything and kind of turning everything into this sort of sludge-like pool, if you will.
Is it like leaking out of the room?
Is it what?
Is it leaking out of the room?
Not really. It seems to be pretty, pretty viscous.
Mm.
Um, well, Ottardo's going to turn around and ask, have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah, is there a knowledge check we can do about this
Uh,
viscous whatever?
yeah, sure. Why don't you roll just a d20 for me?
Blind or
Yep. Okay. Hold on a second here. As a matter of fact, you do, and you probably like throw yourself past Ottardo to slam the door shut as quick as you can, because you know what this is. This is what's commonly known as viscous black pudding. It is an ooze that is usually found in dank dungeons and shadowed forests, and it's not evil. It doesn't really. It probably doesn't even have a mind of its own. It just kind of like finds a place to pour into, and then dissolves everything in its path. Kind of feeds that way, and then they essentially turn into a hazard as once they've consumed a whole lot of stuff. They just kind of this pool of caustic, viscous black ooze. And if they get disturbed, though, you might rouse them from their slumber, and they might more actively try to gain more sustenance.
there's pudding in there, and it's not the good kind that you guys liked. Let's not mess with it.
More doors.
More door.
More door.
Yeah, you open another door, you find another one of those small chambers. This one looks just as shabby and deserted, abandoned as the other one.
Does it also have the thing with the what's it called? Latch?
Yeah,
Oh,
it,
the
yeah,
wall.
the same thing. There's the bolt is on the exterior of the door, but you can tell that it used to be on the interior.
Hmm.
And nothing seems to strike Birke's interest. Just a broken down bed and a shabby footlocker and a rusty chamber pot.
Hmm. Strange place.
All right, so you pour back into the big hall with the trophies on the walls, and you gather around that central door there. Yep, and then
Yeah.
open the door, and you find a little attached, kind of like a hall. It looks like because the entire chamber has been wrapped in a giant mural. And the mural depicts mutated and warped looking warriors, their flesh literally warped into grotesque shapes, but powerful. And they stand in a round room within a beam of eerie blue light. And the blue light originates from a tall lighthouse. And
Whoa.
the inhuman champions seem to spring forth from that light. And you can see them like slaughtering humans and elves and other surface dwelling, more normal looking folk. And with that scene, as you like look up at this scene illuminated by your various magical light sources, you swallow hard as you once again remember what the stakes are if Belcora gets what she's after. And fade to black.